Welcome to a new year, a new day, a new time, and we all are ready for you because we got to get the world ready for you. Welcome to another edition of Motivational Sundays with Kevin and friends. We meet every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This show originally started from more than 300 quotes I had for the contents of my books. I was always curious of how one quote landed on another person until I started talking to Naheem, my co-host, until I listened to Gilda, the lady of few words, and her better half, Christopher. And all of a sudden, Denise dropped some education from knowledge on me. And then in so many different languages, Vanessa popped in and she translated what these quotes meant. And before you know it, we went to a whole nother level. We're talking about artificial intelligence in real life. Larnaz Kinney jumped in. And based on our perceptions and interpretations of a quote, we talk about these things and what it means. Sometimes it makes us laugh. Sometimes it makes us cry. Sometimes it pisses us off so much. We go, duh, what are you thinking? But we welcome everyone participates. We have an open invitation on Facebook, so join us. So today we have two quotes. One is a prayer from our super couple, and for those of you that are struggling that can't find love, I want to show you what love looks like. Gilda and Christopher James. So Chris' quote today is got to be willing to make some bad choices but the most beautiful part of this quote today is Gilda's prayer. Her quote. It says, Lord, I pray that you continue the strength, that the bond between me and my spouse, may our love for each other continue to grow, and may we always be there for each other in times of joy and times of sorrow. Help us always to communicate with love and respect, and may our marriage be a reflection of the love for us. And may this show reflect the love for all of you people today. Find that place in your heart and be some love. Christopher, let's talk about willingness to make some bad choices. I made a couple in my time. Matter of fact, I did that yesterday. Let's talk about that.
Oh, um, I heard the quote first time many years ago in the Navy when I was told that I was too cautious. I took too many precautions to make sure that everything was perfect before I made any steps at all towards any goal or anything. And one old crusty sailor who I really respect uh, said the quote: "You got to be willing to make some bad choices." Um, Now, just that, and thinking back to parenting, thinking back to life in general, um, I've always instructed others to allow not so much children, but anybody new at a particular application to make their own decision. And in that, don't be afraid of making the wrong decision. Making a bad choice does two major things for you. One, it allows you the firsthand experience of decision making, whether it's good or bad. You decided what to do, and that's crucial and very important. The second is with no risk, there's no reward. You have to be willing to get out there and say, you know what? Let's bank let's bank it all. Bet the black on the roulette wheel. Take it all in. And if you win, it's huge. If you lose, well, you learn one more, very valuable lesson. But that's the bottom line. Be willing to make that wrong decision. I was watching an animated movie, Zootopia, and Akira with the make a mistake every day. Don't be afraid to make a mistake because that mistake is now a lesson for the next time. I mean, like people can tell you forever, don't do this, don't do that, until you experienced yourself exactly what happens when you do that. It's just going to be something that old people say. But once you've earned that experience, once you've learned that lesson, you're untouchable, and you will be a success at whatever you do.
I need that. I need that other coat. That other one that made me fall off my seat. What was it again? No, I need that bad. I need that fast. That one. No, I need that. What was it?
Um, it's
No risk, no reward.
Risk and reward. Yeah.
Yep. Hey, that's what we do every single day that we show up as men, women, melanated people. That's what we do every single day. We make a choice. We make a choice to fight this battle that we call life. We make this choice to be an exception to the rule without excuses. We make this choice to stand up when we've been wrong for what we believe in. No matter how someone tells us how wrong we are, we stand up. We make that choice. Vanessa, in English, how does this land? She speaks multiple language. That's why I said I don't want her to get fired off and rattle off. That's the reason why I saved Larnez for next, because it'll be a 20-minute show when Larnez gets fired up. So I know the temperature's rising right now. And look at that. Summertime, summertime, summertime in Florida. We're all freezing the rest of the part of the world.
It's cold here.
No, you were out laying by the pool with a blanket on. It ain't that cold. I saw you yesterday.
It was
So how does that quote land on
61
you?
degrees. That was cold for me.
Shut up, girl. We all have winter coats on. You're talking about 51 degrees.
Hold on, you see the Snuggie?
She's living in Florida and complaining about 51 degrees.
Her and my mother.
Yeah. Now that's a bad choice, Vanessa.
Okay, fine. You guys have me out here with you winter bugs over there.
Winter bugs.
So let's talk about being willingness to make some bad choices. And
Well, it's funny. My favorite song is My Way by Frank Sinatra. And, sometimes you just have to make the choice that you make. And yeah, you pay the repercussions. And as a mom, I always tell my children, don't do this, do this. I give them 2 shots. On the 3rd time, it's their fault.
Yeah.
And, we have to make our own choices. And sometimes they're not the right choices. But we definitely learn when we make those choices and they were wrong. And I think that's, part of life. You definitely will learn when you make the wrong choice, and you will reflect much more on it.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Everything about life is about 2 things. The choice you make and the chances you take, chance and choice, and the actions that follow both of those things. We make those choices. Larnez, I know right now in Boston it's a little chilly. Over here in Philadelphia, we're about to get snow, but I know temperatures rising over there in your household. How does gotta be willing make some bad choices land on you?
We always make choices, right? Our energy are going to pull certain opportunities for us in our way. We choose what opportunities we play with, right? You have to consciously know and tell yourself, every opportunity I play with is for my well-being. So even though those wrong choices, because we're supposed to make wrong choices because we need to wake up, and the frequencies around us, if we go off course, they're trying to wake us up. So if you're not doing and living and in your purpose and where you're supposed to be, things are going to happen to you. You're going to experience things in your life to wake you up. You may think, oh, I took this risk, but you were placed there strategically.
Yes.
Now, these 2 opportunities you have in front of you, you can go left or you can go right. We view it as a risk, but no, sir. You're just discovering what you're supposed to discover right when you're supposed to discover it. So your lens at that time, your human perspective, pressure bust pipes, right? Yeah. And develop diamonds. In order for you to shine so bright, you gotta go through some ish. You have to. And it's viewed as a risk. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I had to have the courage to make this. now this feeling that I have of not knowing what's going on, absolutely, it feels like a risk. But I needed to go through that to get me where I need to be. So I always, look at things like, ooh, you know what? I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to spend $1 on the lottery. Let's see what happens.
There you go. There you go.
In a nutshell.
Do that
There
today.
you go. And people realize, where does courage come from? It comes from the heart. All right. Everyone thinks this is like stepping out there. Courage comes from the heart. You become fearless because you make decisions based on how you're feeling inside that no one else is going to make. It's just like talking about tomorrow. Tomorrow basically means you don't have the courage to get whatever you need to get done today. So get that courage. I'm going to share a little story with you. There was a two gentlemen that was sharing a story about an individual that had a good union job, steel worker in someplace in Philadelphia or surrounding. I don't know all the details, but the story is true. And the guy was saying that I am going to go out to Hollywood and I'm going to become this writer, this author, and I'm going to make movies and everything else. And they were just telling me, said, why would you give up a great union job in order to do that? You're not going to go out and make Hollywood and whatever. At the end of the day, guess what happened? John Grisham is still making movies. And his friend said, his friend said he was making a bad choice. All right. Let me tell you about a brother that's making bad choices and he is thriving every single day. He is not only the voice when you go to Boston and you listen to the story about Martin Luther King, who will be celebrating his birthday January the 15th. He is a beloved brother to all of us. He is a protector for all of us. He is an emotional support system for all of us on this panel. And he is actually the hammer that made the axe. That's Naheem Garcia. Naheem, how does, yeah. And I know you and I make bad choices all the time. So how does this land on you?
The term bad choices is a symbol. It's not really a bad choice, it's a risk. And what comes to mind when I think about it is if it wasn't for wrong, I wouldn't know what right is.
True that.
So you take those risks, understanding that, yeah, it might be a bad one or it might be a good one. So I think when I think of this quote, I think of risk. And I think of the fact that even now in my life, taking a chance and always playing it safe is not always very good, but taking a chance is exactly what's needed. And people that made successful moves have taken risks and chance because they were not going to get stuck with being in a safe place all the time. Safe place is what's locked you down. You stay in a place where you think you're safe, but it's not really safe. It's just a place where you don't have to take a risk and find out if you're wrong or right. You don't want to find out anything about yourself. You don't want to know who you are because you are who you are, and that's all that matters. Once you accept who you are and why you are, then everything else falls in place. But if you don't realize who you are, you don't think about who you are, you stay in that safe place, which is a locked room, a prison in your mind, and a prison without bars. So with that said, if it wasn't for wrong, I wouldn't know what right is.
There you go. And that sounds like a remake of another R&B song. If loving you is right, I don't want to be wrong. Because being wrong means being without you. I'd rather be wrong doing right. Way to go. All right.
Remixed by Kevin McLemore, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, I told you on this show, sometimes we get a little deep and we make you think. Sometimes we make you laugh. Today, we're doing both. DL, Denise, author, spoken word person, our sister, baby girl. Yeah, I will tell you, okay, you may look at her and show that she's only 5 foot 5 inches tall, but when you hear her speak and she delivers her word, and when you cross her,
I'm shorter than that. I'm
all right.
4'11".
Well, I just know your presence makes you 6'4" plus. All right, because I look up to you. I look up to you. We protect you. You're part of this family, and you inspire all of us with your message in your heart. Because everything you say is pure. All right, I will tell you, you have the Midas touch. We know where gold starts. It starts with you. So you got to be willing to make some bad choices. All right, I'm going to light the fire under you a little bit. Talk about how this quote lands on you.
Oh, uh, this quote reminds me of a Michael Beach. He has a tattoo that says, "We are the choices we make."
Mhm.
So that's one of my favorite. I'm like, my next tattoo is gonna be that. For me, this quote landed because when I got divorced, I had to move. I needed to move because I needed a new start. So I moved to Brockton, unknowing anyone. So my parents, everybody was like, "That's gonna be a bad choice. You're not gonna have anybody to help you with the kids and all that." And I'm like, I know it's a bad choice. I'm not gonna have any support, but I need to get out of here. But in the end, it was a lesson because I learned not to depend on anybody else. I learned to depend on myself and make choice for my kids, like which one was going to be better for them. And it's been the best choices now that I made because now I had to learn what to do, like who to depend on, like find people that would take care of my kids while I went to work, pay more for like before and after school, and give my kids new experience. So they had to go to after school, they had to go to a summer program. So in the end, it became a good choice for me. But my family, my parents, they're like, "That's gonna be a bad choice." It was like it was just too much, and I needed that. So you have to learn, like you have to take a risk. Like Chris said, Naheem, if you don't take a risk, you're not gonna be able to. Like in Portuguese, they said, "Quem não arrisca não petisca." If you don't risk it, you're not gonna eat like what you're supposed to eat. So it's like, "Quem não arrisca não petisca." That's a saying that my grandmother used to say all the time, and you need to take a leap of faith. Like Martin Luther King says, just take one step at a time. What's the quote he says? You don't have to see the whole stairway. Just there's one quote from Martin Luther King that I like. I don't remember right now.
The only thing I could think of is I might not make it there with you.
Yeah, he has a thing about leap of faith. Like once you don't have to see the whole staircase. And for me, that's been a thing. Like, so bad choices, you learn. And I've learned, I've made a couple of them, and I've learned. And recently at work, I made a bad choice of trusting people and give them the benefit of the doubt. And now you see, but bad choices doesn't always lead to bad things. Sometimes it leads to a new thing that you're able to see, and it's always a lesson. Everything is a lesson. So instead of saying "why me," I say now, "what is this here to teach me?"
True that. True that. And choices are just that. There are lessons needed to learn and lessons that you actually learn from making those choices. It is part of your education. You know, getting a formal education is not an education itself. It's a task that you have set that says that you now have an education. What happens in life educates you. The mistakes, the choices you make, that is your education. All right. It's not a task. That's life. And, last week we had a conversation because I was concerned about giving a speech because not only was I speaking at MLK Day, Martin Luther King's celebration of his birthday, January 15th. I did that January 10th, 2024. I was on the fence of Dr. King if his dream was still alive. And the reason why I was on the fence, because I do believe his dream is alive, but I had experienced um, racial disparity within our justice system. I was falsely accused of being violent towards a person that was of European descent that attacked me. But the videotape showed, because I was walking towards him, that I was the aggressor. I was in a township. They still had on the books between women and people of color, of marginated skin color, that we were still victims of free labor in their penal system. It cost me $5,000 plus, and it could have risked giving me a record when I did no wrong, when I was attacked, and no one stood up for me. I had to make a choice that day to fight and stand up for myself. The other thing is, when I was talking about speaking for Martin Luther King, I had to pull back and say what Coretta Scott King has said to Byron Allen when he started his movie mogul. He goes, "What is my responsibility of being in this position?" And Coretta Scott King said, "Tell him the truth."
Mm.
And so when I put my speech together, I said, you know something? I'm going to make people think. I'm going to give them the decision to say, look, throughout our history, there's not a race that doesn't have baggage. amongst their race. There's a group of people, whatever, no matter what it is, black, white, Indian, European, white, or whatever the case may be. There's a group of people that are just despicable in our own race. But there's a larger group of people in a community that wants to bring unity together. And then there's that 1% for capitalism that doesn't want to see us unified. And so when I spoke to the young people and the old people, I said, I'm going to speak the truth. So when I'm looking at this quote, got to be willing to make some mistakes. My struggle was going through the civil rights movement. My mother marched with Dr. King. We had bricks thrown to our house. I don't know. And this was my question. I don't know personally if I could have been part of a non-violent movement, because my mother said the reason why her kids weren't involved in that meeting at our house at 559 Cedarhurst Avenue is because her kids were everything but nonviolent. I don't know if I could have held the hand of Vanessa, Denise, Naheem, Christopher, Gilda, Larnez, or any of my European friends that are in my circle and have someone beat us as we cross the George Pettis Bridge without defending myself or them. But the most amazing thing at the end of the speech, a lady came up to me and said that she was on that bridge and she was in tears. And she said, I'm so glad you made people think, because you made them make a choice between educating and learning the truth, both good and bad, of our history. And I think that's where we need to be, is tell them the truth and let people decide, no matter what it is. All right. Robert E. Lee wasn't a freaking hero. He was a racist, bigot, slave owner, and everything else. Talk about the truth of why that happened, the reason why we have conversation between the North and the South. Tell them the truth. That tree that we so admire and saying is the tree of life, that tree is called the hanging tree. When they publicly hung people of color, and even law enforcement officer witnessed a murder being happening, and no one's ever been convicted. And when I asked her, how were you able to endure such torture as you crossed that bridge? She said, by signing their life away and knowing that she was going to sacrifice her life for the betterment of everyone on this panel, everyone that's listening to this conversation right now. She said, all I made sure is I covered my face. She says, when they kicked me and they hit me in my body, she goes, I had already been freed and I was numb to the brutality. So that day when people crossed that William Pettis Bridge in Selma, there were two choices to be made. One, in order for freedom, and the other choice were the people that witnessed and initiated the brutality, which they have to live with today, is to oppress another people by beating them down and thinking they're going to submit. But our example is we made a choice not to be submissive to anyone. We are strong. We're good people. And the biggest fear that they have is that they're afraid to unite us all. And it's coming, people. It's coming, people. I was coming. When I say George Floyd, when I say Breonna Taylor, when I say Arbery, when I say George Zimmerman, and the list can go on, I say their names. I say their names. In this platform, we don't talk about politics, but we do tell the truth. And with Coretta King being the queen of queens, telling the truth. Make a choice to do the right thing. Make a choice to be educated on all platforms. Don't look for your local news in order to educate yourself. Read the facts. And do not dismiss the contributions of our great-great-great-grandparents, our great-great-uncles, our great-great-aunts, our cousins, brothers, and sisters, no matter what color your skin is. Anyone that had contributed to the right of life made a choice. So with that said, I will get off my little mini bike, my little moped, and we'll move on. And, struggle is real, ladies and gentlemen. Get in some good trouble, as Congressman John Lewis said, my late fraternity brother, and all of our brothers and sisters, Naheem. We all have someone in there that stood up and made a bad choice to be right. All right? Chase your dreams, live your dreams, and don't ever let anyone steal your dream. So with that said, new year, a lot of great things are happening. The writer strike is over with. Naheem, your movie, The Holdover, killing it. Been nominated for some awards. For you guys that don't know it, Naheem is one of the central figures in that movie. We're doing some great things. All right. There's some good stuff coming out of. Vanessa's working on her book that's coming out. Denise's book, I know it's ready. All right. So Naheem, give us an update. What's going on with you, real quick?
Holdovers is moving on. I'm casting for a few readings for a few movies that's actually going to get done. I'm producing in some and working and preparing myself for King Henry II. I'm waiting to hear back from a very historical director and movie. Don't know what's going to happen. Won't say his name yet. And but if it does happen, it would just be a milestone in my career. Thank you, Lord. And and with that said, just keep loving my children and my family and all of you.
We love you, man. Larnaz, what's going on with you? You got some big stuff happening in New York and Harlem. See your name in print and stuff like that. What's going on?
Oh, well, recently I was asked to join the team of Harlem Community newspaper and write a resource column for the community. So I'm doing that. I recently got hired as a business consultant for an AV production company in Boston, Naeem.
So you call me when you get in town.
Right, right. And
Just call me
anything
when
you
you get
need to
down.
work on, I can definitely plug you into this gentleman. So it gives me a reason to come visit you.
Come
And
on,
All
you,
right.
come on.
Christopher, Gilda, and Denise, we got to meet up when I come out there. That's about it.
All
Handle
right.
it.
Vanessa, what's up with you? She's got three
Oh,
beautiful young men that she's raising as a solo mom.
yeah.
She is strong. She's making some good choices.
Well, thank you. Yes, actually, they're all coming, trying to get in the room right now because we have to get ready for church. But yeah, I'm working on various projects. Definitely, the book is one of my biggest projects, and just getting more exposure for the foundation. I'm the founder of the Be the Postpartum Depression Foundation, and I'm just gaining my independence here, back in the Tampa Bay area, networking. My best, I think asset is that I connect people and I just like to help people level up. So I'm just getting my name out there and helping people connect and get them more exposure on social media. And that's where marketing is. So I consider myself a marketing queen on various levels. So that's what I'm working. And yeah, the book is one of the biggest things because branding myself in through the for the foundation would be a big thing to level myself up. So excited
All right.
about that.
We can't wait to see your book and talking about another author, the lady of spoken words. Our queen on the show, Denise Lopes. What's going to give us some update on you?
Vanessa, I need some marketing help. So we need to connect. I'm not good. I have a business information system background, but I'm not good with business.
Hmm.
Because when I went to UMass, I wanted to be a teacher. They pushed me to do business, and no, I'm not that good with that. I took all the marketing courses, but no. My book is ready. They pushing me to my sister because when the first one came out, it was during COVID, so I didn't have a signing event. So they want me to do a signing event for that one because it's in Cape Verdean Creole, so everybody wants to see it. So I'm planning that. And I'm dealing with everything at work, so I'm just leaving stuff and just go with the flow right now. So now I know how to deal with people. So they said everything is a lesson. So I've learned that. So I'm self-care, going to my gym and meditating and do my stuff that I do to take care of myself. Because I have to be healthy first before I could fight for my students. So that's my goal.
All right, no problem. You know what they say, it's the quiet before the storm. So,
Mm.
all right, Chris, Gilda, Christopher, what's going on with you and Gilda? And by the way, Gilda, your quote, and I'm going to repeat this again.
Oh,
Lord,
I
I
need
pray.
that prayer.
All right, I'll send. Lord, I pray that you continue to strengthen the bond between me and my spouse. May our love for each other continue to grow, and may there always be may we always, well, I got to screw up the line. May we always be there for each other in a time of joy and sorrow. Help us to always communicate with love and respect in our marriage and be a reflection of the love for us. Gilda, that was a beautiful quote. Chris, it's beautiful.
In
So
fact,
go ahead, Gilda.
okay, yes, thank you very much. In fact, which Chris didn't know it yesterday, we attend church on Saturday. And yesterday, I decided to read that quote during a prayer service. Because first of all, our anniversary is coming up, and we'd be married. Both of us be married for we'll be married together for over 50 years. So our golden anniversary is here, and we're going to be celebrating it overseas. We're going to Hawaii.
Ooh,
Yeah. So I said I got to do something special for church, which Chris did not know about it.
No.
And he was surprised, that I read the quote because
they don't tell me nothing.
Yeah, because everyone knows that I'm a woman of little words, and I took a chance because I didn't know how it's going to come out or what I'm going to feel afterwards, but I took a chance, and the chance was it all worked out because I was frightened because I'm not the type of person that do things just to be doing it.
Yeah, she's a quiet person.
Yeah.
She has a purpose.
Yes. So I said, well, you know what? I'm gonna get over this and do it because this is special for me. It's my golden anniversary coming up.
The church loved it.
And I wanted to surprise Chris with this quote.
Yes, she did.
So right now we are preparing to go to Hawaii and just to enjoy our golden anniversary.
Right. All right. So Christopher, the other half of one heart.
Yes.
What's going on with you?
Well, what she just described was a shock. I'm up in the AV section of the church, 2 or 3 levels up. And next thing I know is they're calling me down, and I see Gilda standing up and says, "Oh boy, what have I done?" So I make my way down to the sanctuary. But yeah, the funny thing about Gilda and I's 50 years, most of the church, especially the administrative portion of the church, wasn't even born when Gil and I met. When I say things like, yeah, Gil and I met back in 73, and they say,
I wasn't even born. Well,
me neither.
Nobody was born in 73. And so, it was pretty much an acknowledgement that, yeah, I spent 50 years in the church. So it's time for me to step back. But the whole thing was, it's been an amazing trip, amazing 50 years. And, we got this thing all set up for Dubai.
All right.
Cross right through that. All right, that ain't working.
Hawaii.
Hawaii
is now it.
I thought it was Dubai. When she said overseas, I knew about Dubai because she had told me because I was all in it. And then I'm saying Hawaii. Hawaii.
We had complications as far as flight-wise getting out there.
Yeah, British Airways dropped the ball. Well, I shouldn't single them out. One of our carriers dropped the ball, and we had to cancel that trip plan and just convert it to Hawaii. But yeah, it'd be good.
All right. Well, I'm glad you I mean, Hawaii is not a bad choice. Just like I said, make some good choices. You did well. I hope you guys enjoy. I hope there's another 50 years in front of you. You guys are a prime example of the dream of love. And for those of you that have never seen love, look at Gilda and Christopher, because that's what love is. And it takes some work to be together for 50 years. All right, because I will tell you, they've been through some stuff. All right. Look at So with that said, let me say this. Focus on less in your life of the stars and be more to the stars and live for the greater good of mankind. And with that said, I'd like to thanks everyone for showing up each week. You know, I'm working on the drain. We meet every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you like what you've heard, go to RMK Productions and Network on our YouTube page. And please follow, like, make your comments, or you can even join the group and subscribe. Come here and be a guest. We're probably one of the few podcasts that, as long as you're not bringing drama. And remember, the guy that showed up last time when we opened this up to everyone that showed up and decided to use the bathroom, don't do anything stupid like that and videotape it.
Yes, that was
Yeah,
something else. Oh
don't
my
do it like
Somebody
God.
that.
was using the bathroom while they were live.
Yeah,
Yes,
why they were
the
live.
whole
Yep,
toilet and
yep,
everything, socks and
yep.
all.
So
Lanez had to kick him out.
yeah. So I'm going to say, if that's your mentality, this ain't the place for that. Find another platform for that. But I hope you enjoyed the episode. And I want to thank you. My grandfather always said, when you get to a point in life that you can help someone else, it is your duty to do so. He said, reach one, teach one. And Naheem, what else?
And with that, we'll fade to black.
And we're out. Thank you.